What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, it is appreciated, and this is it. This is the final video of trying to mess with this car to get it to run. Because A, the car is either going to start after I do this, or it's not going to start and I'm over it. If you're new to the channel, I have tried for the past 2 years to get this 280ZX to run. I've run through so many different options to get it to go and so many different things that should have gotten it to start, and it's improved because now it at least turns on and idles, but it dies after a minute or two, and just if I hit the gas it dies as well. Because it idles and everything, and I've done everything else, the only other thing that I can think of is that it messed up timing, because on one of the times it tried to start, it backfired, or 1 or 2 times it backfired. So I'm thinking maybe it jumped a timing chain tooth. So that's what we're going to be working on. I am going to start taking everything apart, try my best to label everything, and again, I have no idea what I'm doing here, so wish me luck. But for right now, I'm going to try and at least take everything off, get it prepared. That way, if my friend does have time or somebody else has time available to come help look at the timing with me, they can do that so we can check it, make sure it's good, and then we'll see what happens from there. Because I don't really know what I'm doing, first things first is just taking apart the things that I do know how to take off, starting with the distributor and all these fuel lines, and I need to do my best to try and label everything to make sure that I don't lose anything. Fuel rail is out now for like the 4th time, I think. I've messed with this more than anything else on the car. But I think this is like one of the bigger parts that I have to take off. But this is about as far as I've gotten as taking the car apart so far. I don't know too much about like taking the fan off or any of that other stuff. This is where it starts getting into the exploration part of this video here, but should be okay. Based on what I'm seeing, like, it looks like everything looks kind of clean. Look what I found. See that dot that's right there? And see that chain that's different colors than the rest of the chain? Those two are supposed to be together. Which means it did, in fact, jump timing, which I shouldn't be happy about because it's not supposed to look like that, obviously. But finding an issue is progress. I'm trying not to get too excited because I've found issues before in this car and fix those, and it's still not enough to get the car to run. But hopefully, if I can get this fixed, this will finally get this car to start. Now I gotta figure out how to adjust the chain, but that's gonna be the next step. Also, I hate when doing these videos because I talk with my hands a lot, and my hands just look disgusting in these shots, so I apologize. Alright, currently the next day, time to get back into this. I don't want to get too dirty because me and Yaz do have plans to go watch a soccer game later. But I do have some time before then, and I want to get as much done as possible to try and, you know, test it and get it fixed. So now that I know that it's off of timing here, I basically have 2 options. One, I can take it off from here and just pull it off and adjust it directly from here. However, while I was investigating more, it seemed like the second you do that, there's a chance that it's also going to be thrown off further down below because there's a mark here where it needs to be, and there's also a mark down on the bottom. And I am blindly assuming that the timing further below is fine, but I also have no idea. It's possible that it completely jumped timing and it's also off there. So instead of doing it half-assed like I normally do and just hope for the best, I'm going to properly get into this and take everything apart so I can see the mark on the bottom, make sure that timing is still good there, and if it is, then make sure that it doesn't move at all while I adjust it. So let's start taking some more stuff off. Okay, so little by little, taking the car apart. Definitely do want to get a new and nicer radiator, especially just the way that we have the front bumper and everything designed. it's kind of open right there until eventually we can boost it, and there's an intercooler there. I do want to get something that looks a little better. Did make a huge mess with the antifreeze. I tried putting a like oil catch thing under there. Did not work great. Still ended up all over the floor, so that is lovely. Here's the thing though, I got all of this stuff taken off, but I mean, I don't know if I need to take off like all of this extra stuff just to adjust the timing. Like if I can hold the chain, can I get it to just adjust properly? Like just by moving it there? I don't know. I took the fan off, the hydraulic balancer, all the like belts, everything. Found like where I think it should have been. Took all the bolts off and I could not get it off. Honestly, it's probably something simple, but just the way that I was looking at it, looked like I pretty much had to take every single thing off just to get to that. And unfortunately, I don't want to go that route just because putting everything back together that I had to already made me nervous. So if I had to take apart more and put all that back, I'm just really afraid that I was going to mess something up. While I was in here and had some access to things, I did clean up this bottom pan a little bit. That was pretty dirty. Cleaned this area out. I wish I could clean it more, but I don't know if I'm able to get it any better than that. But as I also have the valve cover off, I figured I'm going to go ahead and paint this really quickly, just that way it looks nice. And then I can go ahead and put this back on the car, put everything else back together, and see if it works. Number one, everything is put back together now. So let's go ahead and test it and find out if that worked, and if the 280ZX, after, I've been saying 2 years, but it's like 4 or 5, after like 4 or 5 years, is finally going to be running once again. Go ahead. Sounded good for all of a second. I feel kind of bad too because it's like 9:30 right now, but again, I want to see if this car starts. Again. So after all that, this is where we're at. Sorry, there's still a bunch of smoke in here. So good and bad news, I guess. The good news being that now when I hit the gas, it actually revs, but that's the only time that it idles or does anything. If I let off the gas, it does not idle, which before it idled without gas and then died when I hit the gas. So now it's back to being the opposite. I swear this car doesn't want to see me win. Anyways, it's been weeks, months since the other clips that you guys had just seen. So when I tried it initially after this, again, doing the same thing, hit the gas, it went, that's it, wouldn't idle without it. So I don't know if I did something wrong when I put everything back together. I just didn't do it right, or because I didn't adjust the bottom part of the chain, that's why it's not fully working correctly. Either way, out of my mechanical knowledge. So I talked to Nick. He planned a day. Right now Yaz and Stephanie are out having their own girls' day. So while they're doing that, me and Nick are going to sit here and retake this thing apart, put everything back together, make sure it's all done correctly, and then from there, we'll give it another shot. That's what one of my other friends said too. He's like
looks like someone fucking redid his head at some point.
That's what the guy I bought told me. They said they rebuilt it.
Okay,
I didn't believe him at first.
Well, so looking at this, I believe him. It has new bridge, the new cam bridges, the new cam. Looks like new valve springs, everything.
Nice. All right, good to know. So when I bought this car, I thought the guy was lying to me when they said they rebuilt it, but Nick thinks that it was actually rebuilt at some point, which is nice, but then why the because they're not working. Yeah, that would make me even more sad than if I had to swap the motor and like it had been redone recently. So while we were looking at it, it does look like it was off on timing. So we're gonna go ahead and get it adjusted to where it needs to be, and then we're hoping that's gonna be the solution, but we'll see. All right, and Jonathan has also arrived. Now we got multiple people taking this apart. At first, we thought we were just going to be able to do everything from the top. As we were looking, what is it that was off, Nick?
The tensioner.
All right, so the tensioner down, way down there is not where it's supposed to be. So now we need to take everything off again. This time, actually take everything off that's needed to get gone. And then we can just adjust everything, make sure everything is good to go. But at least with us taking everything off, we can just give it a full go through, make sure that everything is where it needs to be, and then fully give it a good shot and try and get it to run.
Nice. Look at that. Oh, shit though. Oh shit though. This thing?
Tripped all over your shoes, I'm sorry, man.
Nah, I don't give a shit about that. I was like your ground, it's gonna be all stained with that.
No, it's okay. That right there, that's not supposed to be right there. So that's why we had to take everything off. But I appreciate you, because I definitely didn't trust myself enough to take everything off.
The chain? Yeah, the chain. That's weird, I've never seen a tensioner just run on the chain. See, it's all chunked.
Is that a problem?
No, it's not a problem, but that you can see that the chain's been wearing on it because it wasn't in there properly.
That change size is average, all right, Jonathan? It's the thickness that matters. All right, so this is back on. Chain marked up. Everything good to go. It's back in time now?
Yes, sir.
Officially? Nice, okay. So again, we're really hoping this is the issue. It has spark, it has fuel, it's getting air. So we're assuming it being out of time was the issue. Again, I tried doing my best, but without taking everything off, you know, I didn't fully fix it. So now that it's all good to go, hopefully it's gonna run again.
Maybe not with performance parts, but brand new stock OEM parts for sure.
I mean, that's still better than nothing.
Oh yeah.
All right, so it looks like they did replace a bunch of stuff on the bottom end and the top end, so...
You got a brand new motor.
That means I got a brand new motor and a car that ran for $800 when I bought this years ago. Which again is why it's been so frustrating that it doesn't run now, because it was running and it has all this stuff. But hopefully this is it. Hopefully it runs. Hopefully we can start actually modifying it more and maybe get it to SEMA next year if everything works out the way that I want it to. All right, so I don't know where the footage went from after we put the car back together and tried it. Unfortunately though, it did not run still. Now it just, like, it doesn't even want to idle. Before it idled and died when I hit the gas. Then after we got done and we tried running it, it would only run when we hit the gas. So I don't know what the issue is, because now it's not idling at all. So for whatever reason, it seems like the timing was not the issue. It was out of timing. It was an issue. It just wasn't the issue, which has been the problem this whole time of like finding things that are wrong, but it's just not getting the car to run. I have bought some new things. I bought a new set of fuel injectors. I bought new spark plugs, and I bought a new fuel pressure regulator. New spark plugs all in. I had also bought a new starter a while back because it seemed like this one was struggling after all the attempts. So I went ahead and just got that installed too. So I'm hoping with the new injectors, new spark plugs, new fuel pressure regulator, like it should run. Now I've said it a million times already, but that's like the last thing I think it could be, because it has everything. It's got a new mass air fuel sensor. It's got new fuel injectors now. It's got spark with the new spark plugs. It's got a new fuel pressure regulator to make sure that the fuel pressure is correct. We did the fuel pump already. I did the fuel pump relay. I think I said the mass air fuel sensor already. I did a bypass of the cold start valve. We cleaned out the gas tank. Pretty much new fuel lines checked. I don't think I have any vacuum leaks anywhere. There's a couple other stuff I think I'm missing, but like I have gone down the list already. So now that all this is installed, right now it's kind of late. I'm not going to start the car, but first thing in the morning, I will go ahead and pick this back up. We will give it a shot and pray that this car is going to run, because if not, I don't know what else I'm going to do. Well, it is officially time for me to entirely accept defeat and pass this car on to somebody who knows what the hell they are doing. You guys have seen, I tried my best. I really wanted to get this car to start on the channel. One, for you guys, two, so I can see Yaz's reaction, and three, most of all, for myself. I wanted to build on my confidence knowing that I was able to get this car to run, as I'm not very mechanically inclined, and I thought this was my opportunity to prove to myself that I can be, and it has been the opposite of that. It's really frustrating, the fact that on paper it should run. It essentially has a brand new motor. It has all the things that it needs to run. It used to run when I started it, and I just let it sit for a little too long, and it has caused all these issues. There's so much that I want to do to this car. I know that when it is finished, it is going to be an absolute showstopper and just be a one-of-a-kind, beautiful work of art driving everywhere that it goes, and I can't wait to see that. And there's so many pieces and ideas that I have for it. I just can't do them until this car is running, and I can't get it to run, unfortunately. I've talked to other shops. They've given me some ideas. They've given me some prices. I thought about driving it out to Vegas and dropping it off to my stepdad. He's pretty backed up right now, so I don't know if that's an option. I might see if Nick wants to take on the challenge, if he's fine with it sitting in his garage and he can sit there and work on it, as he's a mechanic. One of the biggest things is I just don't want to drop thousands of dollars on getting this car to run again when it used to run, and it's only like 190 horsepower. Just doesn't make sense to me. But at the same time, swapping the motor is like $7,000, and that's just money that I definitely don't have right now, at least not to do this stuff. And it is frustrating trying to find which avenue to go to, because this car cannot just sit in my garage forever, and I'm definitely not going to sell it, so I have to find a solution. Now, if you have been keeping up with the 280ZX videos, I appreciate you. I'm sorry they have all ended negatively, especially this one. I was hoping at the end of them there would be a finish line of me fixing it, but just doesn't seem to be the case. And if you're new to the channel, I appreciate you. Sorry about the monologue. I'm trying to keep it short. I know this video is probably already long, and I feel like you guys probably don't enjoy the monologue type endings. I don't really know, though. You don't say too much in the comments, but where I'm at right now with this car, I just need to get it off my chest and kind of talk about the frustrations that I have with this car. So I appreciate, you listening through my little spiel here. All the negativity aside, though, I know that no matter what, I will get this car to run. I will not sell it. I will succeed. This ZX will be the only one of its kind, and it will be the beautiful work of art that I know it can be. If I have to get a sponsor for every nut and bolt on this car to get it to run one day, then I will. And I'm going to push to have it to SEMA next year still. And regardless of how frustrated I am, I'm still motivated, I'm still focused, and I will get this car running and be happy to show you guys and know that all the frustration and everything that I've put into this car is worth it. On top of that, with positive notes, the 350 is in a really good place right now. Whether the ZX gets moved out of this spot by driving off or being towed off, I can have the spot to start working on the Tempest and get that out of the bad weather, at least for a little bit. And again, there's always projects. We have Jonathan ZX, we have Japan next year. There's constantly stuff going on in the background. So no matter how frustrated I am with this, I'm still blessed to have these cars, to have these problems, to have you guys listening to my monologues. And I'm just so grateful for you guys, for everything, and I appreciate you. Any words of encouragement in the comments are also appreciated. Any advice, any tips, anything is appreciated. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're not already. I hope to see some of you guys at SEMA, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace out.